My name is Marco Alvarez, and I'm 42 years old. I spent nearly 2 decades grinding from the ground up, building a humble but honest business, installing security systems for small shops all over Texas. It wasn't flashy, but it paid the bills and gave me purpose. I didn't come from much, just a kid out of community college with a certificate in network security and a laptop that needed duct tape to stay together. But I had ideas, ambitions that even I couldn't fully articulate back then. Then came Jenna. We crossed paths about 8 years ago at this barbecue joint in South Austin. I had just wrapped up a long day installing surveillance systems in a string of dusty car washes. I looked like hell, sweaty, grimy, exhausted. She was there with some colleagues, celebrating a promotion. She laughed at something, and in that moment, everything around her seemed to go quiet. When she caught me staring, she smirked and said, "You don't look like you belong here." I laughed, walked over, and told her, "I'm from San Antonio. I go where the broken cameras take me." That night, we talked for hours, about dreams, families, the feel of the air before a Texas thunderstorm. She told me she wanted to travel, to live in a house with a pool, to build something of her own. I told her I was working on a new kind of encryption system, one that could revolutionize how small businesses protect their video footage. She raised an eyebrow at that. Big talk for a camera guy. I smiled. Someone's got to dream big. 6 months later, she moved in with me. 2 years after that, we were married at her parents' ranch just outside Waco. Her family had deep roots in real estate and construction, and her father wasn't too fond of me at first. But when I helped catch a few copper thieves at one of his job sites, he warmed up. "You picked a smart one," he told Jenna on our wedding day. "This guy's got grit." At first, everything was golden. Jenna was involved in my work. She helped polish presentations, ran social media, even took calls when I was swamped. We weren't wealthy, but we were comfortable. Life was stable, but I was still burning the midnight oil, building something bigger. In the quiet hours of the night, I was coding my encryption software, something that could make footage virtually immune to even high-level hackers. It was cutting-edge tech for a market that had never seen anything like it. Jenna knew I was working on something, but I didn't share the specifics. Not out of secrecy, just because I didn't think she cared to know. Turns out I was right. A few years ago, my business hit a slow patch. Small clients were backing out or requesting payment plans. It wasn't a crisis, just the kind of turbulence you weather when you build from nothing. But Jenna didn't see it that way. "You need bigger clients," she said. "Why are you still wasting time with these rundown shops?" I tried to explain, "I'm working on something that'll change the game." But she rolled her eyes. "That mysterious project again? You've been talking about it forever. When are you going to admit it's not going anywhere?" That was the first real fracture. Then the comparisons started. Her sister had married a tech investor in Dallas, and suddenly every conversation revolved around luxury getaways, lake houses, and wine tastings. Jenna changed. She grew colder, distant. I catch her browsing luxury listings on Zillow, or texting late at night when she thought I was asleep. Affection turned into indifference. Then, one night, she looked me in the eye and said, "I can't keep pretending this is the life I want. I need more. I deserve more." She walked out a week later and straight into her boss's arms. Ryan, a slick-haired, overconfident regional director with a taste for expensive suits and fast cars. She didn't even try to be subtle about it. What she didn't know, what nobody knew, was that just a few days before she left, I had finalized a deal with a cybersecurity firm in DC. They bought my encryption patent for $73 million. I kept it under wraps. No new car, no mansion, no flash. I let her think she traded up, left a struggling small-time tech guy for someone more established. I was still processing the betrayal when the legal papers arrived. Jenna, backed by some expensive lawyer, filed a lawsuit claiming she was entitled to half of my future business assets. She argued that she'd helped build the company and deserved equitable compensation. They painted me as secretive, dishonest, manipulative. But I didn't flinch. My legal team came prepared. We laid out every receipt, every invoice. The few times Jenna had helped, Designing some flyers, answering a handful of emails were documented and proportionally insignificant. We presented a clear timeline showing the development of the encryption tech was mine, long before she ever stepped into my office or offered a hand. And then came the reveal. The patent had already been sold. The company she tried to claim a piece of didn't even own the asset anymore. Her lawyer's face dropped. Jenna looked like she'd swallowed a nail. The judge didn't need long. Her claim was dismissed. No payout. No share. Not a cent. Afterward, she had the nerve to call me. Said she made a mistake. Said she missed the real me. I didn't even respond. I just ended the call and blocked her number. She bet against me when things looked tough. Thought I was the fool in the room. Turns out, I wasn't just building security systems, I was building a future. She'll never be a part of it again. I spent over a decade building my business from the ground up, before she was ever part of my life. Every piece of it had my fingerprints on it. The late nights, the endless lines of code, the risks, the quiet wins. When the court date came, I didn't bring speeches. I brought receipts, timestamps, emails, debug logs, beta reports, cold, undeniable proof. The judge didn't hesitate. She dismantled their case piece by piece. Jenna's lawyer looked like he'd aged 5 years in that courtroom, while she just sat there, lips parted, eyes wide, like someone slapped awake by reality. They left empty-handed. No shares, no payout, not even the illusion of control. I didn't speak to Jenna that day. I didn't need to. The look in her eyes said more than any argument ever could. She had gambled everything, thinking I was the dead weight, and lost. These days, I keep a lower profile. I travel when I want. I mentor up-and-coming business owners, donate to the right causes. I still install a few systems here and there. Keeps the hands busy. My house now has the kind of pool she always talked about. Funny how things work out. She watches from a distance now, probably scrolling through social media, wondering how the man she once underestimated became the man she never saw coming. It had been about 1.5 years since that court date. Life had settled into a quiet, rewarding rhythm. I bought a place on the edge of Fredericksburg, a 3-acre estate tucked away with wide views of the hill country. I kept things practical. No flashy cars, no over-the-top parties. Just a clean, private life. I built a consulting firm focused on helping small businesses integrate real security systems without getting taken for a ride. It was about legacy now, not ego. Some nights I'd sit on the back porch with a glass of bourbon, stars scattered across the Texas sky, and wonder if Jenna ever looked back and realized what she gave up. And then, one Tuesday morning, she showed up. The gate alarm buzzed just as I ended a client call. I checked the camera, and there she was, Jenna, standing just outside the gate, clutching her phone like it could protect her from what she was about to do. She wore oversized sunglasses and that cream blazer she always used when she wanted to seem composed. But she didn't look composed. She looked worn out. I pressed the speaker. Didn't expect to see you here. She turned toward the camera, gave a shaky smile. Hi, Marco. I was in the area. Thought maybe we could talk, if you're not too busy. I should have told her to leave. Should have let her stand there in the silence of her regrets. But something in me, maybe curiosity, maybe closure, wanted to hear it. I buzzed her in. She walked up the driveway like it was a showroom, taking in everything. The porch, the landscaping, the Tesla under the carport. When I opened the door, she smiled like old times. You look good. I didn't smile back. What do you want, Jenna? Can I come in? I let her. I shouldn't have, but I did. We sat at the kitchen island. I didn't offer coffee. Didn't offer anything. She looked around like she was mentally calculating the price tags. This place is amazing. Get to it. She winced. Okay, I deserve that. She exhaled. I made a mistake. I said nothing. I was angry, tired of feeling stuck. I thought you were just spinning your wheels. I didn't see what you were really building because you kept it to yourself. You mean I didn't let you tear it down? I replied flat. She lowered her gaze. I was wrong. That, at least, was new. I thought Ryan could give me everything I wanted. He had the lifestyle, the downtown view, the contacts, but it wasn't real. He used people, controlled everything. When his company started falling apart last year, he tossed me aside like I was nothing. I lost everything, Marco. My job, my savings. I'm back at my parents' house, doing freelance design just to get by. I stayed silent. She pushed forward. I've been thinking about us, about what we had, and I was wondering, hoping, maybe we could talk, start fresh, even just as friends. I laughed, short, bitter. You left when the money stopped, not when I changed, not because I cheated, just when things got hard. That's what told me who you really were. I was scared, she said quietly. I didn't want to struggle forever. And now you are, I said, sharper than intended. So you came running back to the man you thought was beneath you, the one you tried to destroy in court. Tears welled in her eyes. I know I hurt you, but people make mistakes. No, you made choices. You chose him. You chose what you thought was the easy life. And now you want back in because I turned out to be the one who made it. She shook her head, wiped her cheek. You've changed. You're right, I said, standing. The man you knew? He's gone. He built all of this for a life you could have had. But you walked away. She stood slowly. So that's it? You've buried everything? No. I built something better over the ruins. I walked her to the door. She paused on the porch, hesitating. Is there really no chance? I looked at her for a long moment. I loved the woman I thought you were. But now you're just a ghost of a bad investment. She turned and walked back down the drive, slow and quiet, like someone who finally understood the cost of her decisions. I closed the door behind her. The quiet returned, and with it peace.